just saw the Be Live countdown timer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we go. We are live. My guest today is the amazing Luke Nesler. He's with Impact Media. You can find him at www.com, thinkimpact.com. I am Carolyn Cole, your show host. And let me just read this because it's going to be a lot faster to get this out of the way for you. I am a global executive and business consulting coach. I work with C-suite executives, business owners, and entrepreneurs, professionals too. For nearly 2 decades, I was a Fortune 100 and Fortune 200 senior company trial attorney. Now I make the case on behalf of your business dreams and happiness professional dreams too. I'm founder of boomtank.com. That is my company. And Boomtank is where business success and happiness meet. And business success includes professional success. I'm also show host of the global Boomtank Business Show podcast. You can find that on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeart, Spotify, and Overcast. Please tune into that and subscribe. Also, if you would, please visit boomtank.com. That is my site, and subscribe. I'd love to have you on the email list. Lots of great stuff going on. And if you do that, you get this super cool, short audio training. It's top life and business lessons from my guests on the show, as well as a super success meditation I know you're going to love. It's a lot of fun. Please come over, join the Boomtank. Love to have you. And there's so much happening and rolling with this brand right now. If you like this video, if you love this video, if you think this video is worthwhile, which it's going to be a great interview, please share this out. And I'll be sure to give you a shout out. Also, if you're watching the replay, thank you very much for catching the replay. Luke and I will watch the comments. We will answer all questions for you. So if you're catching the replay, leave a comment, leave a question. Be happy to answer it. Thank you for joining live. For all of those coming live, again, please share this if you will, please. And if you would like this page where this is appearing, it's / the Boomtank on Facebook. I'm growing this page because, and I've talked about this and the other things, it's very short-sighted to do all of your streaming from your personal page because you will always be limited to 5,000. Plus, the algorithm for Facebook ads greatly favors a video originating on your business page as opposed to your personal page. Right, Luke?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what else we've got here. Please contact me if you are interested in. You can reach me here, PM me, or reach me at Carolyn@boomtank.com. I offer a life redesign. It's a reinvention for busy executives and professionals seeking more success and happiness, blending those two with an emphasis on the happiness piece. I offer business consulting and a business redesign with success in mind for struggling business owners and entrepreneurs wanting to reach that next exciting level in their business. And if you are interested in claiming your new power personal brand, and that's a power bio, a Dynamite Media one sheet, professional public speaking, professional presentation around your brand, confident speaking, all of that. We go claim your expertise, your expert celebrity. I help you build all of that. So those are my 3 signature programs. How about that for an intro, Luke? Haven't really talked about you yet.
No, I love it. You got so much going on. It's exciting. Yeah. It's a pleasure to be on the show with you.
Yeah. Thank you, Luke. And I was just telling Luke that I'm in New York tomorrow filming for my courses professionally. So we're going to talk about professional stuff with you. You've got a book coming out. You've got so many great things happening on your end. But let me tell you about Luke. Fascinating. This guy is amazing. He is on fire. All right. So here's the introduction, the promo that I wrote for this. And I'm just going to read that. Get ready for a behind the scenes look of a multi-million-dollar media and digital marketing company that has supported massive brands like Major League Baseball, NBC Sports, Nissan Corporation, and others. My CEO guest is Luke Nesler of Impact Media, and Impact is spelled IMPAKT Media. Again, you can find him on thinkimpact.com. So go there and check out everything that he offers. Let's see what else I've got here. My CEO guest is Luke Nesler of Impact Media. Just read that. That is his company. He is also show host of the hit podcast, Attention Equals Dollars. Check that out as well. And that's available on all the platforms where mine is, and is a recognized media personality. Luke helps companies large and small understand the amazing power of highly targeted modern day social media ad spends to gain massive exposure with resulting scale and profit. He truly lives by and helps his clients understand that attention equals dollars. That's the big win right there. We'll be talking in this interview, targeted social media, lead sales generation, brand awareness, which is getting attention, video content marketing, and web development on a grand media scale to win in business today, because this is the Winning in Business live show. Again, welcome, and share this out if you like this. So, Luke was $30,000 in debt, sleeping on his office floor with the threat of losing his business in 2012 when he realized realized the problem was not having the attention of his customers. And we're going to talk about that today, because that's why most businesses fail. That's the leading statistic about why they fail. They're not visible enough. Luke then powered into social media and turned it all around, creating massive wins for his company and clients. It's a great business triumph story with equally great lessons for you. Of course, we'll also be talking his full take on business success and happiness. Welcome to the show, Luke. I'm so honored to have you. Thank you for coming today.
Hey, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's been great getting to know you here recently from our friends in New York at 2 Market Media, and you put on a great show, and it's a pleasure to be on it. So thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. All right, let's get right into this with you. Right now, this is the Winning in Business live show, and I just start this. Thank you. I just want to start this with you're winning in business today. Just tell us in the short version, why and how are you winning in business today? What's different about you than all the other businesses that didn't get to this point?
As far as what's different between us and those that didn't make it this far, I had a conversation with my business partner a couple weeks ago, and I said, I literally think everybody that has been in business could be successful. It's a matter of how much are they willing to tolerate? How much pain can they withstand? How much crud can they eat before they eventually break through, learn from their mistakes, and make it? And we've dealt with a lot. I had no idea what I was doing. I started this while I was in college. My business partner has never really worked for anybody else other than himself. So we learned the hard way. We made a lot of mistakes along the way. And the biggest mistake that we made was when we started as a video production and a web design shop early on, we didn't have enough attention on us, and that's why you heard the story of being $30,000 in debt, sleeping in my office. But we didn't shut down and say, you know what, I'll just go take a real job. Partially because I'd be a terrible employee, so I didn't really have an option. So we just persevered. I mean, that's literally the biggest thing: is how many times can you get punched in the mouth and continue to push forward? And you know, it's funny, you begin to learn from those mistakes and make them less and less and get better and better. And the things that bothered you before, you're able to quickly overcome them. And that's really where we've, grown and been successful where others aren't. And that's why we created this company, is we want to help those that are having struggles with generating sales and winning in business in a 2018 world. We want to be able to help them overcome those hurdles.
Fantastic. And the thing, we're going to get to talking about success, because Boom Tank, this whole Boom Tank, my brand, is about where business success and happiness meet, because we both know successful people who are miserable. And that's not where we want to go. You personally don't want to go there. I personally don't want to go there. But I love what you just said, Luke, because of this. When you persevere and you take those punches in the face, and I've taken mine, I'm still going to take them, right? You're still going to take some, but not as many. But here's what happens when you persevere and you dig deep and you just hang on one more day and you try one more day. And you still have to take care of yourself. You can't let everything go out to sea, right? You can't do that. But it unleashes an amazing next level of creativity, a next level of invention, a next level of just strength that carries you to the next level. That's what I have learned that it does. It unleashes these layers of you as you go through these trials and you say, I'm hanging on. I took my punch. I'm getting up. There's a whole nother level of you that appears. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going from a boy to a man, from a little girl to a woman. I mean, once you go through all of that, and I firmly believe the pain's not over. I mean, I want to continue to grow our company so that we can help more and more people. And it's not easy. Every single day I wake up terrified of losing it all. And that's something that at first I thought something was wrong, right? And then I realized that that's just my undeniable hunger for more. And Mark Cuban has a quote, and I'll mess it up, but it's something along the lines of work every single day like there's somebody trying to take it away from you. And that's literally how I live my life. We've had our best year yet, and I work every single day like I barely got enough. And I think that's been a huge difference this year.
It's that hunger, right? It's a total hunger, the consumption to make it happen. And I want to shout out, I can't see everybody on. This is the little frustration I have, but otherwise I love Be Live. I can see, let's see, Anthony, I think you're here. Welcome, Anthony Sparks. Liza is here. Welcome, Liza. I think it's Liza. I don't think it's Lisa. If it's Lisa, I apologize. Not sure who this next one is. David Ralph is on, and David Ralph is sharing this to everyone. So that you're here. Welcome, Anthony. Whoops. We back now? Can you hear me now?
I think so. That might have been on my end. Oh, well. What's up,
right.
Sparks? Anthony Sparks is a talented video producer that I'm close with.
Fantastic.
My man.
Yeah, fantastic. What we've got here, David Ralph just joined, and Pascal just joined. Hey, Pascal, and she says, hi, Luke. So Pascal is wonderful. Here's the thing. We've got UK watchers. We've got other people in Europe. We've got national, because Boom Tank is global. And David Ralph signed on. David Ralph said, share, everybody, share like your life depends on it. And he's very excited to be here. So that you know, Luke, and you may already know him, David is a top global podcaster, period, in iTunes. He has the #1 show for motivation, business, some other categories in the world on iTunes now and some other platforms. They were just reached #1 in India. He's doing very well in Australia, throughout the U.S. So very honored to have you on again, Sir David. He's a whiz with everything podcasting. He has podcasting mastery, things like that. And then you've got your friend on, and then we've got Liza coming. Yes, honored. Okay, great, Liza. Pascal, welcome. Pascal is in the UK as well. She does a lot of web-based stuff. So any questions, gang, put that in there. Let's go to this next piece. Right now, the transition is you've got a multi-million-dollar company, and you're working hard like somebody's going to take it away because you want it to get even bigger. You have worked with or supported Major League Baseball. It's huge. NBC Sports, Nissan Corporation. You've talked with those organizations. You're a keynote speaker. You've keynoted out at Google. You're doing all of these big things. For you right now, the biggest part of your business, and we talked about this earlier, that your business includes targeted social media, lead sales gen, brand awareness, video content marketing, and web development. Of those, when we talked, you said brand awareness is the biggest one. That's the starting point, and we're going to talk about all those. That's the starting point. Explain that to us. Explain your whole attention for dollars and what you want everyone to know watching this about their business and people being aware of it.
Yeah, it's different today than it was, 10, 15, 20 years ago, to where you could work for a brand and be successful and not have to worry about it. And if you're an entrepreneur, you could borderline hide behind your company logo. Today, it doesn't really work like that. Everybody is a brand in and of themselves. And it's extremely important, whether you're an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur, to understand the importance of building your brand and generating brand awareness. Simply put, it's your reputation. It's, do people think of me over my competitor? And what do people think of when they hear my name? So attention equals dollars. The podcast that we have, the shows that we have, that concept is exactly what we do for our clients. We help them get mass exposure, get attention, and turn that attention into revenue. And that has to be your goal. If you don't have enough people seeing you, hearing you, thinking of you, if you're not doing a show like you are, like I do, or like David does, you have to get on that boat to where you're creating content, because that's how people are going to see you, think of you, and that's how they're going to make the decision to use you over a competitor. So brand is just making sure that people know who you are. The biggest mistake I see professionals make is they use social media as a leisure activity, as an escape. They like to see what the president said today. They like to see what the score is of last night's Stanley Cup finals game. It's a matter of an escape tool rather than a marketing tool. There's two types of people on social media, the hunters and the hunted. The hunted are those that consume content at scale on social media. That's who people like you and me are going after. The hunters are people like you and me. We're trying to get their attention. So big mistake is, I know everything about you. I know that you're a soccer coach. I know that you love hockey. I know that you have 3 kids and you go to vacation at Myrtle Beach in North Carolina or South Carolina, but I have no idea that you're a realtor. And that's a problem. And that's how people use social media, and we're trying to fix that.
That brilliant point. And the thing is that the big message that I'm going to amplify and roll right off of what you're saying, you can bounce back to me too, is this, that visibility is the lifeblood of your business. And it's what do they think of you? Well, first thing is, do they even know you're out there? Do they even know you're on the planet? Right. And the next thing that I say is that, and you just said this, is that who we are and who our brand is, our business is, It's always in the collective. The schizophrenic existence of saying on some social media platforms, I'm just going to be totally me and just hang out. And somehow the world at large will siphon out that from my business activity on social media is complete myth. That it's actually madness. That is not how it works at all. You are in the collective every time you step onto these platforms. You know, you have to be consistent appearing on all of them so people don't get lost about you. And if you have a dire need to have a private space, create a separate private account that is only open to your immediate friends and family, that it does not conflict with your business branding. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think number one, you need to get good on at least one platform. If you're that person that gets intimidated by, well, I got to be on all these platforms, you need to get good at Facebook if that's where your customers are at. And then once you get that down, then you need to start pushing content on Instagram and understand that content on Instagram has to look different and feel different. It has to fit the room and has to be different than what you put on Facebook. Then when you get good at that, start putting content on YouTube. I'm putting content everywhere all day long. Let me rephrase. I'm putting content everywhere. On average, each day, I spend anywhere from 7 to 15 minutes producing content. 7 to 15 minutes. That's not when I'm doing a show like this with you. It takes a little bit longer. But it doesn't take me all day to create this content. So yes, you have to be omnipresent. You have to be everywhere at once, because guess what? Our friend Hank Norman doesn't like Instagram and Facebook. He's on Twitter. So if I want to influence those guys, I need to be on Twitter. But I hate Twitter. So people like me, I consume content on Instagram. So I need to be on Instagram. It's a matter of, it does not matter what you like. It's a matter of where your customers are at and learning how to play within that arena.
Yeah, let's talk about the brand awareness piece a little bit more. Okay, you're talking about YouTube, and to just share with you, Luke, I actually have 3 shows right now for the summer months. I have this show, I have another show on Thursday that's another live show where I just do question answer, is it me or my business? And I have my podcast, so I have 3. Plus, I do other things, right? And I'm on all the platforms now. We talked about YouTube, and that the important thing that you dropped pre-chat, and this will really help the audience, is this: that you recommend to your clients who come to you, and some of them have $100,000 ad spend monthly, okay? You recommend to them, get your brand awareness out there first. Start producing that content, putting, as you say, on the platforms appropriate for your audience now. Then once you're out there with your content and you've established that, then come build your business around it and your marketing. Did I say that right before we get to YouTube? Did I capture that?
Correct. And here's a good analogy. It's, you're not going to go up to somebody at a bar or a restaurant that you find attractive and say, hey, I think you're pretty cute. You want to get married? It's not going to go over well for you, right? And if it does, it's probably not going to last very long. That's how people advertise. So what I mean by build brand awareness before you try to sell the product, you have to build rapport. You have to build your tribe. And there are multiple types of advertisements for that. The mistake that people make is, we all have access to Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. So we all think that, well, I can do this just as good as somebody else. And they launch a subpar advertisement. If I go buy a set of golf clubs from Dick's Sporting Goods and it's the exact same set of clubs that Tiger Woods uses, that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to hit it as straight and as far as he does. There's a process to what he does, and there's been a lot of time that he's put in to perfect that. So essentially what I mean when I say is build your brand before you drive the call to action, you have to build your tribe. You have to get people to know you, like you, trust you. Then those people that consume that content, that's who you drive a call to action to. It's like going up to that person at the bar and saying, hey, my name's Luke. I'd like to get to know you a little better. You sit there, you talk, then you ask them out on a date, then you date for a little while, then you ask them to marry you. It's the same process, but most people are going straight for the kill, and then they get upset when their Facebook ads or their Instagram ads, they spend $5,000 and they lose $5,000. It's because they're doing it wrong. You got to build that brand. Then when the timing's right, you got to drive that call to action.
Here's an open-ended question. What kind of content, it's going to vary, I know, but what kind of content is working now on social media for your clients?
Real content, right? Why do you do what you do? We do a lot of work with real estate professionals. We do a lot of work with big brands like NBC Sports, like you've mentioned. But let's talk more about the personal brands like real estate professionals, restaurateurs. Nobody's going to be able to relate to NBC Sports, but they use the same platform. So for the real estate folks, there's in my town, there's 250 real estate agents. So what makes me, if I'm a realtor, different than the other folks? I gotta hear your story. You got to tell me why you do what you do. I want to hear success stories from your customers. I don't necessarily want you to tell me to hire you to sell my house, to hire you to show me this listing. I will use you if I can relate to you, number one. Then I'm paying attention to you. And then if you influence me that you are the expert. So the content we put out is real content. Then we put content out that positions you as the pro. That's why my story is, listen, I was $30,000 in debt. I was sleeping on my office floor. We almost went out of business before we got started. And what fixed it and saved us was I learned how to promote ourselves on social media. So there you know, okay, Luke actually uses this in his business as opposed to the TV stations and newspapers and radios that are selling a knockoff product of social media. They never used it to grow their business, but you know that I did. So you know my story, therefore it validates me as an expert. Then I continue to push content out that positions me as a professional, and you'd be surprised how many leads flow in daily from that for one reason. We want to work with the best. You want to hire an expert, not somebody that said, hey, here's my business card, call me if you need me. You have no idea if they're an expert or not. So you got to position yourself as one.
All right, so here's what I want to do. I want to break some things out to real nuggets that the audience can take away. So right now, and I know it varies business to business and depending on your clients, what do you like? Video, audio, written content? Video,
hands down. Not even a question. It's not that and here's the thing, I don't care what I like, I care what works. Now I happen to like video and it works the best. Video is king. I recently, in the last 6 months, started doing a podcast, but it's a video and audio podcast. We do some exclusive iTunes audio only content. I'm really starting to take a liking to that because I use it as almost like whatever's in my head, I'm able to talk about it and get it out. And I put it in a little nice package that brings value to the audience, but it doesn't perform nearly as well as video. No way. What you're doing right now, this video show, is going to get you more exposure, more awareness than a podcast 9 times out of 10. Video is king. And written form, some people are introverted, right? They're terrified to get on camera. Well, it doesn't matter. Your blog is not going to get you as much exposure as you putting valuable content out on your iPhone, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. You can still blog, but you've got to understand that you're pushing at half throttle. You've really got to get comfortable with video and get over your fear of how you look, sound, what if you mess up, because video is king and it's not going anywhere.
And I can help with that, and you can help with that. We have people we know. I mean, I do that, you do that, yeah. So, but here's the piece, okay? With blogging, it's SEO rich, right? People say videos, I lose the SEO. No, you don't. You build your tags, you build your description, you build your title to bring in the SEO. You agree with that?
I do, and I have what I think is a unique take on SEO. I think SEO and search-based marketing is imperative. That's not what my company does. I think when somebody says, hey, should I do SEO or social media? That's like saying, should I put my pants or my shirt on today before I go out in public? You need them both. But here's how you have to understand the inner workings of this all. You're doing SEO and search-based marketing so that when somebody says, hey, I need this service, they go to Google and they type it in. And if you've done a good job, you should appear high up in the ranks, and then you get their attention. What about the people that need your service that aren't going to Google because they're not actively searching for it? Or what about influencing those people that are going to go to Google next week? What about you influencing them today before your competitors ever get a chance of influencing them on search-based marketing? So SEO is extremely important, but you've got to understand that you can find your ideal customer before they try to go find you. And it's extremely beneficial for a business to fill that pipeline up and to increase the revenue.
I think in my short time with you, and we chatted last week and we chatted before this interview began, this is my mind just keeps getting blown by you because you're doing things at such a huge scale with big people, and you also are targeting personal brands as well. But here's where I landed on this for scaling for the audience, is that you can do it the organic way, the slow way, all of that, or you can be in the camp that does targeted media ad spends that are done well and propel yourself much further, much faster, as long as you have the content, you're visible and people understand what you're doing, etc. Right? You have that expertise that you can put on film or put on audio and push out there. And I think that for what I see with businesses coming along, and that's online and offline, it's either people try to do it the old way all by themselves or get a team and do it the other way organically, when they would do so much better budgeting budgeting, saving money every month to put on the ad spends to grow faster. Do you agree with that? Because it's like two separate camps. It's like, I'm going to do it organically or I'm going to pay. What do you think?
Yeah, so they're both important. You need to always be pushing it organically. You need to be using your personal Facebook page, the one I have to friend request. I'm not a big fan of that just being used for personal stuff. Look, it's an exposure tool, so you need to use it for generating exposure on your business and your personal brand. There are two, like you said, there are two camps. There's organic, which is the free unpaid content, very important. It's not that it's necessarily the old school, the old antiquated way you shouldn't be using it anymore. You should still be using it, but it's not the same as 2006 and 7 where you've got to get 500,000 followers on Twitter and 1 million followers on Facebook, and then your business is going to blow up. I've got 20,000 followers on Facebook, which some of you might be like, wow, that's a lot. Some of you might be like, well, that's not very much for a social media expert. It doesn't matter. I've never sold one thing that my company offers from somebody liking my Facebook page. Right? That's not how things work today. I was on a friend of mine, and I don't know if you've met him yet through 2 Market Media, Bradley, extremely successful businessman out of Las Vegas. And Brad likes to stir the pot. And he's like, man, so why are you better at social media than me when I got more friends than you? Well, first off, he rolls around with Grant Cardone all the time. So people see him. And they're following him now because they love Grant. This guy's positioned himself with Grant. Now they're following him. But the bottom line is how we generate sales for ourselves and for our clients is not just because we get them a lot of likes and we have them post stuff. We build these strategic step-by-step campaigns. We reach who they're going after. And then we build the rapport with those folks, and we drive a call to action to them when the timing is right. So we'll find a perfect stranger of a client of ours. We start to influence them. They start to follow our content. We start to feed more content to them. They consume that. We feed more content to them. And then we know when the timing is right because we can see it in the analytics. We can tell when they've consumed 100% of the length of every video for the last 5 videos. Then we drive a call to action to them, and the conversion rate is through the roof. Our clients, on average, will get anywhere from 400 to 3,000% return on investment with us. We have a client that spent $30,000. They generated over $1 million in sales, and we hit that mark last month. So that's not because we got them a lot of likes on Facebook. That does not matter today compared to back then. Only 1% of the people that follow you on Facebook will see all the content you put out, right? 1%. So that means you've got to have a targeted social media campaign to really get that exposure, while not forgetting that it's still important for you to pick up your phone and do a Facebook Live to your personal Facebook page. It's still important for you to post something on Instagram, even if you're spending $40,000 a month on social media ads. You have to do both of them.
Yeah, and I want to loop back to it because when I said you're you in the collective, this is just me, and you could disagree with me 100%, but I'm still going to stick by it. It's that when people do go live on their personal page or they go live on YouTube, I really preach for people to be cognizant that you are you in the collective. Whatever comes out of your mouth, it's a reflection on your brand and your business. And keep that in mind. I mean, there's a time and a place to go totally personal and not. And that's just how I feel. And I think if you're going to be on your personal page, that you ought to be in kind of your business mode. That's just how I feel. Not pumping business hardcore on your business page, every live stream or every talk, but certainly putting it out there. Who I am is a business person. That is me in the collective.
Yeah, okay. I never put out on my content, buy from me, hire me, let me do your social media, let my company do this. I never say that. But I'm putting business related content out every single post, but it's in the form of value. It's in the form of something that you're going to learn. And I literally teach you how to not hire me. I teach you everything. Right? I teach you how to swing that club the way Tiger Woods swings that club. And people are like, why do you do that? Because I don't want the people that can't afford to work with me aren't going to work with me. The people that can afford to work with me don't want to do this themselves. They want to work with the expert. Therefore, they're going to hire the expert, not the competitor that's saying, let us build your website. Let us run your Facebook ads. Let me tell you how to increase your following by 4,000% and turn that following into an increase in revenue. Here's how you do it in 3 steps. I put that content out daily. I'm so far into the business mode that a lot of people have no idea that I'm married. Like I don't put personal stuff on Facebook because when it's, I just had my 1-year anniversary with my wife. We went to Orlando, Florida. I didn't post anything because I'm unplugged. This is a business tool for me. It's not a, hey, let me get online and talk to you about what Trump just said, or get online and write this ushy-gushy post about my wife or my mom and dad. It is a business tool for me, and I want to help people. And me showing you, a video of my dachshund is not going to help you, but me showing people how I can generate revenue for them, that's going to allow me to bring on a new customer to where I can help somebody.
Right. And here's the thing, is that in the online business space, you have to choose. I'm saying it. You have to choose. This fluffy, be vulnerable about everything. It's 80%, I'm going to gush, and then the other 20% sneak in business. No, pick your stand, right? Get into business, period. These are all business tools, business platforms. I don't share like that on my personal page either, right? I'm business in the collective, and that's it. And if you're a serious business person, yes, you will always be able to troll some people in on Facebook who respond to you. But if you're talking about a multi-million-dollar company really leveling up, you have to behave like a business, right? You have to go
going all in. It's going all in to where, and no knock on average people, but the average person will post a little bit about business, a little bit about their vacation, a little bit about work, a little bit about their kid, the birthday, the bachelor party. They post a little bit of everything. It's very average. That's what you see from the normal person. Hey, the most recent episode of The Walking Dead. Nobody really cares about that. That's not going to bring them value. As Grant Cardone would say, I'm obsessed with being successful because I want to grow my company. I want to help others grow their company. I'm the farthest thing from average. So the only thing that I talk about on social media is educational, informational content that when you see it, you're going to leave saying, I learned something that made me better after watching this than before I watched it. That's all I care about. But I'm not average. I encourage everybody that watches this that stop looking at these as social media channels and start looking at them as your network. They're your NBC, they're your MTV, they're your CBS. These are your channels, right? What you put out on them, does it look like a bad episode of Catching Up with the Kardashians? Or does it look like an informational, educational, business powerhouse show? That's why I love your content so much. I don't really care about I don't care where you go on vacation. That doesn't, if somebody's nosy, they will. The reason I love your content is because you teach me something every time I watch it. And that's why you, to me, are an expert.
Thank you. And here's the thing about all of that. And you said it beautifully. There's really nothing more I can add to it, but I want people to really understand something that because, and Gary Vee says this, you're saying it, likes and hearts do not bring dollars in. They do not scale your business. In fact, if anything, they may detract from it. Because if you're getting all of those little swiggles going on, then you're producing to not value and tough business stuff. You are sending just plain to the crowd, posting that Walking Dead video, right? You're posting the latest haircut, these kinds of things. Great if you want to do that. But at the end of the day, business is business. It's business, and start acting like a business owner. Can't say that enough. What I want to do now is move into targeted social media, and let's talk about the different platforms and what you see the use of them. We've talked about ad spend. You covered that beautifully. Let's just touch on them. We had a great talk about YouTube. The thinking about YouTube is, hey, the primary viewers are 19 to 26. They're gamers. They're usually young men, period. I have never thought that. You have a totally different take on it, and let's go through the different platforms. We'll start with YouTube. We'll wind up with LinkedIn, which I love, but it's like you say, different beasts. Let's go through those quickly so we cover them for the audience. What you see.
Yeah, YouTube's big for anything all the way from little kids. I'm talking 4 or 5 years old up to 60, 70, 80-year-olds. Everybody consumes it on there. There's on average 5 billion videos a day consumed on YouTube. It is not just one demo or another. It's also not a social network. A lot of people are like, why don't you ever talk about it as far as a social media network? It's not a social network. It's a content distribution channel, right? There's very little engagement in the form that you see on Facebook that happens on YouTube. So here's how you should use it. Number one, organically, meaning the stuff that you don't pay for, it's a video brochure. Just quit handing people those trifolds and saying, hey, here's some more information on me. Tell them, hey, go to youtube.com/Luke Nesler. There's customer reviews. There's a lot of tip videos. There's some shows we put out. You will learn everything you need to know to make a decision on if I'm the right person for you or not from my YouTube channel. If somebody says, hey, do you got some information you can send me? We've all heard that, right? I send them my YouTube link because it's an interactive set of information rather than a one-page PDF. So on top of that, the advertising platform is powerful on there. Your YouTube pre-roll ads, or as I call them, your YouTube TV commercials, right? Very powerful. You can target who you want to see them. You only pay if they watch the commercial. It's an extremely powerful tool, and it's extremely underutilized for sure.
Okay. Now, we talked about, I just started my channel, put everything up, and I repurposed my content, got it rolling 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago now. So if you want to check out my YouTube channel, please do. It's YouTube.com/user/the boom tank. I've got a custom domain that I've had for years, and now I'm using it. But to just get out there, because you say there are 5 billion views every day, organically, it's not going to work. So the people who are looking for it now, why go? I'm a total believer in YouTube. I'm going to stay on there forever. All right. Why should they be on YouTube when the march is so hard? And you talked about YouTube advertising. So let's talk about that versus hoping someone finds your channel or someone checks you out. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So why should they be on YouTube?
Yeah. And then the challenge of just trying to do it organically and why you need to ad spend there.
Yeah. I mean, well, number one, if you spend or have ever spent on television commercials, listen, less than 1% of the middle class and upper class population watch nightly television. That's watch nightly television. That's not the ads. So if less than 1% or watch nightly TV, then how many people are actually watching the commercials? Not many, right? We all fast forward through them. My dad's 70 years old. He tells Alexa to fast forward through the commercial. So that ship has sailed. Move that over to YouTube. If you want to target somebody, if you do outdoor sporting supplies, you can target everybody that's watching fishing and hunting videos with your outdoor sporting supplies. They're going to see your ad. They're probably not going to go to your website first. You know where they're going to go? Probably going to go look at your YouTube channel. So the last thing that you want is for the last video to be uploaded 7 months ago and it be nasty. Right? You need to have consistent content, strategic content on there. So with me, what's important for me to influence somebody to hire me? How good are we? Customer reviews, success stories. Do you actually know what you're talking about? Okay, so I need to put tips, information out there. Who am I going to be working at with Impact Media? So we have a reality show called Inside Impact, and you get to meet my team, my chief marketing officer. All that stuff lives on YouTube so that when you get there, you can see how great we are, you can see the results we've gotten, and you can meet my team, and it sells itself. So it's very important.
Okay, and when you say targeted, you're talking about YouTube ads, and we talked about that. So when you say targeted, I want people to know that just putting up your channel, just putting up videos on YouTube is likely not going to be enough at all. At some point, you'll have to engage in some ad spend there in order to gain traction. Do I have that right? Absolutely.
YouTube organically growing, in order to grow organically on YouTube, rather, it's very hard. You're talking about keywords, understanding the algorithm. It's hard, right? So my thing is, don't stress out about trying to grow a ton of subscribers off your content organically. Put that content there knowing that I'm going to send traffic to this via telling people, hey, go to my YouTube channel. That's where you're going to get all the info that you want, or running YouTube advertisements and driving traffic to it that way.
Okay. And then quickly, if you would, can you roll through the other platforms, how you're seeing them, the most useful way a business can use these platforms today? Let's go Facebook, let's go Twitter, let's go Instagram, Snapchat if you want, but those big ones.
Yeah. So let's talk Twitter first. Twitter is, unless you love Twitter like our guy Hank Norman does, you shouldn't waste your time trying to market your business on Twitter. Why? The lifespan of a tweet is less than 10 minutes now, meaning you post something, 10 minutes from now, it's buried. Because why? They've reclassified. They're not a social network. They're a news resource. That's why the people that do like it, if I ask them, they're there not posting content. They're there checking the scores, political news, CNN's updates. They're scrolling quickly. So I would not worry about Twitter unless you already have a large following on Twitter. You're not going to build a following on Twitter today unless you've already had one. So just let that go. Facebook. The average adult, 35 and up, spends over 1,200 minutes a month on Facebook. The average adult spends now it's 800, over 800 minutes a month on Instagram. It used to be 6. Snapchat and Instagram were tied at 600 minutes a month. Instagram has surpassed Snapchat. So think about that. A lot of people are like, well, I don't like Facebook. Well, I don't really care, and neither does your customer. That's where they're paying attention. So knowing the facts, over 1,200 minutes a month on Facebook, over 800 minutes a month on Instagram. You probably should learn how to do Facebook Live. You probably should learn Facebook ads. You probably should learn what an Instagram story is. Those are the main platforms for the adult buying population. Now, if you're going young, if you sell prom dresses to high school girls, right? Or if you're an ice cream shop and you want to influence high school kids, college kids, Instagram, Snapchat is still a very relevant platform for that. Those are the two main tools. What's next? I don't know. Everybody asks that question. What's the next big platform? There hasn't been a big one pop for a very long time. So it's hard to say what's next. But what matters is what's working now and really going all in on that. And that's how those platforms mainly break down.
Great. How do you weigh stories, Facebook stories and Instagram stories?
Say that one more time. You cut out on me.
Okay. How do you Whoops. I think. Darn. Instagram stories, Facebook stories.
Facebook stories definitely are nowhere near Instagram stories right now. Instagram actually just, obviously, I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but Facebook owns Instagram. So they connect a lot of the same things. Instagram stories have changed Instagram. I no longer go to Instagram and swipe down through my feed. I go to Instagram and I'm not swiping down through here. I'm looking up here, right? Well, it's not even on camera. I'm looking in the stories. That's where the most content is consumed. So Facebook stories, it's not like that. It's in the news feed. Will it change? I don't know. I don't really see Facebook turning into a stories type first feature, but it is available. So guess what I do? I share it to there as well. Now Instagram's made it to where you can, by the push of a button, when you share your Instagram story, you're also sharing it to Facebook. So it makes it very easy. So I would encourage you to do both.
Okay. Just really quickly, if you can give us 1 minute on lead sales generation, what you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, the most powerful way for the majority of businesses out there to fill that pipeline is getting attention, right? And then turning that into dollars. Well, for most of us like me, you're not going to buy my product online. You're going to submit your name, phone number, and email that I've got to sell you. Well, I can either pick up that phone and cold call all day, or I can run targeted Facebook ads, create what's called a lead ad. And I can say, listen, do you want to learn how to increase your revenue by 1,000% in 90 days? I can show you how we did that for one of our sporting event clients. Click here. They submit their name, phone number, and email. Now I can call them, have a strategy call. Whatever your call to action is, lead generation on social media is more powerful than it's ever been before. I don't want to say easier than it's ever been before, but compared to how you had to generate leads in the past, it's easier than ever. You got webinars, you've got lead generation ads on Facebook, you've got Instagram, you've got LinkedIn, which we didn't have time to talk too much about. It is imperative. I sell everything at the company. Every dollar that comes into my company is done through me. I do not have a sales team. My marketing team does for us what they do for our clients. We generate leads. I call those folks. We have a strategy call. I say, listen, do you want me to do this for you? Do you want me to get you the results? And they say, yes. We sign them on as a client. We get that because of leads.
All right, give me 30 seconds. Huge. 30 seconds on LinkedIn.
30 seconds on LinkedIn is a prospect research tool. I use it a lot, but I don't use it like Facebook. Right? The way that I use LinkedIn is I will research who are all of the realtors in the United States that graduated from West Virginia University. You know why I search that? Because that's where I went to school. And you know why that matters? Because when I reach out to them cold, I can say, hey, Stephanie, I saw that you graduated from WVU in 2014. I graduated in 2012. Small world. I work with realtors all around the country, and I help them increase their revenue. And guess what? Now we have a common ground that I wouldn't be able to do that on Facebook or on Instagram. LinkedIn is an amazing tool for that. And also, if you're walking into a big meeting, whether it's with your boss or whether it's with a prospect, LinkedIn is going to tell you everything that person's ever done great. You know why? Because that's how people use it. They go there and they boast and brag about themselves. So you can tell every charity this person's been on. You can tell every degree this person's gotten, every company they've worked for, and you can use that as ammunition in your sales meeting with that individual. And it makes them really understand that you've done your research, and it goes a long way.
This is great information, Luke. I mean, you are hearing from a multimillionaire and a multimillionaire who does this. So listen to this. This is today's knowledge. It's so powerful. Do you say yes to Sales Navigator on LinkedIn or no?
I say yes. I mean, I use all the tools on LinkedIn, and I think the beautiful thing about what LinkedIn offers is you can get really granular with who you're searching and targeting, whether you're running an ad to them or if you just want to find all of the women that graduated from Duke University that sit on this charity board that are a certified realtor in this state. If you have something that all those dots connect together and it means something to you, then you can hit those people organically or with an ad. It's a powerful tool, but you can't use LinkedIn as a resume. That's where people mess up. They go there, they post about themselves, and then they leave. And then they try and find a way to reach out to a new prospect. Well, you just left the place you're going to do it. It's called LinkedIn. And it's definitely a powerful tool. I have 3 windows up right now next to our browser, and they're all LinkedIn, different searches that I've ran.
I love LinkedIn. Absolutely love it. 30 seconds, please, on web development.
Yeah, web development's not what it was 2 years ago. Listen, Facebook doesn't want you leaving Facebook. When I was a little kid, I thought AOL was the internet. AOL was a website. It was an all-inclusive, all-encompassing website. That's what Facebook is, right? So Facebook doesn't want you leaving Facebook to go to your landing page to generate a lead. Facebook would rather just you generate that lead on Facebook. That's why there's a lead ad. So not everybody needs, and this is, listen, we design websites, right? So before people start saying this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, we design websites. The people that need a website, somebody that does e-commerce, people that sell online, right? And occasionally people need an informational website. But what you need before that is you need a Facebook page. You need an Instagram page because that's where people are going to stay. That's where people are going to consume content. And Facebook has this little thing called an algorithm that controls everything that happens on it. And if the algorithm sees that you're trying to get people to leave Facebook, it's not going to match up, right? They want you to consume their product, not somebody else's. If you do design a website, it's got to be mobile responsive. It means it's got to work on a phone. It's got to work on a tablet. It's got to work on a 150-inch projection TV. It's got to be mobile responsive.
Oh, definitely. Okay, fantastic. We're at the end of the interview. You have been amazing, but I do want to talk about your take on success. Okay. You had the struggles early on. Every day you still live like you have those struggles in order to grow, to have that fire. But how do you define success? And then how are you compensating so that drive doesn't take your happiness, or does the drive give you happiness? Are you able to balance it with your personal life? So let's talk about success and happiness. So share what you have to say about those things.
Yeah. So I think everybody's definition of success looks different. All right. I think the biggest way to find success is to find your why. And I just put a podcast out this morning about finding your why. Success to me looks like a whole lot of money, right? My why is money. And I talk about it in my podcast this morning, and let me explain what I'm talking about. I get the most reward when I have an employee that comes to me and says, hey, man, that big raise you gave me has helped me and my family out more than you'll ever know. Success, like my friend Matt Monero, looks like the fact that his brother-in-law was terminally ill with cancer and he was able to pay for everything for his in-laws, right? That's success. Success is the fact that I can run targeted social media ads and campaigns for my clients and help them generate more revenue next month than they had this month. So that's my why. Now that I've identified my why, I attack it relentlessly. So if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, it's going to be hard for you to find success. I don't want as much money as I can get because I want big fancy watches and cars and things like that. I want to be able to help people, and I can't help people if I'm broke. So my why is what drives me every day, and that's what is going to help me be successful. I don't think I'm successful right now. I'm not filthy rich. We put all the money that we make. I have a business partner. We dump it all back into the company. Right? I live modestly. We have a very successful company, but I'm not flying on private jets. I'm doing well for myself, but I think even when we get to 50 million or 100 million, I don't think I'll find myself successful because I always think I can do more. So, I'm 29. Maybe my opinion will change. Maybe I'll hit 50 million and decide I want to cash out.
I'm pulling a crystal ball and I see it clearly changing. All right. It's clear.
Yeah.
All right. So what about happiness for you? So you don't burn out, so that it's worth it.
I struggle with that. Yeah, I struggle with it. It's when you're at the top, when you're the guy that's responsible for generating all the sales, and you have these goals that you want to hit, and you're the only guy that's going to be able to generate the revenue to do it, it's stressful. So I get burnt out, and I don't deal with it well. What I've had to start doing is unplugging, right? Happiness to me is I have to check myself, and my business partner has been amazing with this. Jeff has to come in and pull me back down sometimes, where it's like, dude, look where we came from. Like, look what we've done and what we're doing now. And remember in 2013 when like all I wanted to do was to be able to, like, if I wanted to, leave early one day to go spend time with my wife, I'd have the freedom to do that. I'm able to do that. So happiness is just not forgetting where you came from, as cliche as that sounds, and why you got into this, because I've forgotten it multiple times. I get so consumed with the goals, and I make it not fun for myself. And I fight that every day. I'm not going to lie about it. But it's something that when I check myself back down to reality and I realize why I'm doing what I'm doing, and the fact that the harder I fight, the more I can provide for people, and I'm living the life that I wanted when I was in high school, if I'd envisioned what I was going to do, it allows me to stay happy with what I'm doing.
And that's so good. You have a partner that can see that balance is needed for you, right?
For sure.
That's huge. All right. So we're a wrap now. And please tell the people where they can find you and how you can help.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find Facebook, Instagram, YouTube are my three main platforms. Luke Nesler. Like she has in the lower third, it's LukeNesler. I put a ton of informational content out on there. We have a great podcast on iTunes. We have a new episode out today about finding your why, and I go deep into that and kind of tell that story. Great episode. It's attention equals dollars. You can find it on there. And then also the website for Impact is thinkimpact.com. And there's a lot of great info on there. YouTube, there's a ton of valuable content, techniques, lessons, things like that.
And so we're crystal clear. This is digital marketing and YouTube, all of that. It's the latest in how you can propel your brand, your business, et cetera, out into the social media world for scaling and for profit. Get that attention and get those dollars. Luke, I can't thank you enough. You have just really brought so much value, insane value here today. And I know people pay great money for this. So indebted to you for that. Thank you very much. It's been my absolute pleasure having you on the show. Terrific.
It's been great being here. Thank you so much. It's been fun.
Okay. All right. So thank you all for tuning in live, and thank you for watching the replay. Deborah said great advice, Luke. So she salutes you. Other people salute you. I salute you fully. So we're going to put this out there and let this hit the replay circuit. And please check out boomtank.com. Subscribe. Check out my things on boomtank.com and Luke's things on thinkimpact.com. And we'll see you next time right here on the next episode of Winning in Business Live. Okay. We'll see you, gang. Thanks for tuning in.